Shamy here from Heyo. We are going to get started. It is the top of the hour. Welcome all. We've got a small group of Heyo customers, and today's focus on the webinar is 8 ways to drive traffic to your contest or lead capture campaign. We work with thousands of customers each week, every month, just like yourself, that are working to build campaigns aimed at growing their email list. But what we've seen is a lot of people know how to use Heyo to build the campaigns, but after the fact, they don't know how to properly promote it. So that's going to be the topic of discussion today. Before I get started, I want to make sure everyone is all set. We are recording this webinar, but I want to make sure everybody can hear and see me okay. You should see me flip through a slide real quick and then right back. I just want to make sure in the questions, let me know if everyone is all set to go, and then we'll jump right into the content. Got some really cool creative tips for driving traffic today. John says yes. Marcy says yes. Right on. Beautiful. And also, actually, I'll get to that in just a moment. Okay, so for those of you guys who I haven't worked with might be actually nobody on this webinar. I've worked closely with so many Heyo customers. My name is Alex. I'm a product manager here at Heyo. I've been with Heyo since the early days of, you'll see in the left-hand side, since the dorm days, as I call it. We were founded in a dorm room at Virginia Tech. I was the first employee. We've been doing webinars for years. There's Nathan, Jay, and myself, who you've also probably worked with. We've been featured on all sorts of different business and money blogs across the web. We are social media marketing focused, and we've got a lot of cool stuff with you are coming out, not in only regards to these campaigns, but also future products. So get excited. We certainly are here at Heyo about our marketing and digital marketing to be exact. So today is all about it's all about you guys. I want to make sure you get the most out of it. So this is what I was going to touch on earlier, but I want to make sure that we can open the floor for conversation. So if you've got your microphone connected, go ahead and raise your hand. I want to unmute you at some point throughout this webinar. Nice. I saw a few hands go up already. And then also go ahead and ask any questions in the GoToWebinar box. I'll do my best to answer them as we go, but if it doesn't get answered, don't worry. I am going to set aside some time at the end of the webinar to make sure I address those questions. So John's got his microphone connected. Marcy does. I'm going to actually go ahead and unmute John here. I want to say hello. John, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Thanks for joining today. What are you hoping to get out of today's webinar?
Just more stuff pounded into my brain about, I've seen quite a few of your webinars, and watching them more than one time helps me retain a lot of stuff. So
awesome.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Cool. Well, I'll make sure to go slow today, John, and I'll go ahead and unmute you at the end and see if you've got any questions or what you thought of the content, all right?
Cool.
Right on. Thanks for joining today.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So let's go ahead and jump in, as I said, to the 8 ways to drive traffic to your contest or lead capture campaign. In the next 40 minutes, I say 40 because I want to leave some time for Q&A at the end. I'm going to cover how to optimize Facebook Linkshare posts and promote posts with the Facebook ads platform. Don't be scared. We're not going to be spending money live on the air. Just want to give you a sneak peek. We will also touch on a few email marketing strategies that you can use to help jumpstart traffic to your campaign and even convert customers after it's over. We always talk a lot here at Heyo about building your email list, but what's an email list if you're not doing anything with it? So I'll touch on a few points there, as well as a few other creative traffic sources that you can use to maximize your campaign reach and the traffic that you already have, because it's likely if you're running one of these campaigns, you've got an audience elsewhere, and you just need to learn how to drive that traffic to the right place. So go ahead, and before I'm going to take a break and get a sip of water here before I really get into the 8 tips, but I want everyone to go ahead and be logged in. Everyone on this webinar is a Heyo user, and I want to make sure that if you see a tip that you can act on today, you can can jump right in and take action. So take a second or go ahead and request a password reset if you need one. But go ahead and log into the Heyo app so we can get back or get right in there when we need to today. All right, so take a few more seconds to do that. Just getting set up here. Okay. All right, I saw a few logins come, so I trust that everybody's done that already. Let's go ahead and jump right in to the first tip to driving traffic to your landing page or contest that you've set up with Heyo. The first tip is going to be to customize a Linkshare post on your Facebook fan page. Now, what's a Linkshare post? A Linkshare post is when you paste a link in the Facebook status update box and it automatically pulls in elements from that page to populate the post. The reason we recommend doing Linkshare posts is they get a lot of good visibility in the Facebook newsfeed. Many people say that organic reach has gone down when they post, but Linkshare, Facebook actually favors Linkshare posts in the newsfeed. They want people sharing content, valuable content that is, amongst one another. And this is if you've already got a presence on Facebook, this is definitely one of the easiest ways to drive visitors to your campaign landing page. It's dead simple. It's a matter of crafting the right copy and making it and getting the right creative in there to drive some engagement, keep it high in the newsfeed. So things we recommend when doing a Linkshare post, and I'll touch on a demo here in a moment, folks. See some questions coming in already. We recommend customizing an ideal image size, so making sure the image is optimal for this share box, as well as keeping the copy on the post concise, keeping it dead simple and intentional so people know where to click and what they're getting themselves into. And lastly, another recommendation we have when posting links to Facebook is not to fire and forget it. You're posting because you're looking to drive engagement. So don't just set it and forget it. You've got to come back and respond to any comments or acknowledge people who share or like your posts. That's a great way to drive those users back and stay high and relevant in the newsfeed. So real quick, for everyone here, like I said, everyone's a Heyo user, so we shouldn't be unfamiliar with the app. But did you know you can customize your page share metadata, so the image and the copy within Heyo for your contest? I want to see what did people know how to do that, and if we see a lot of no's, I'll go ahead and show everyone where you can customize that. John says he knows where to do it. Angeline does as well. Okay, cool. So, oh, there's one non. Jess does not. So I'll just go ahead and real quick, I'm going to hop into Heyo. Start a fresh browser window here. And I'm already logged in because I logged in at the beginning. And what I'm going to do is I'll create a fresh campaign here, a sweepstakes template, because many of you, I did a little research for those who registered. Many of you guys are using this one. So I'm going to save and edit. And like I said, I want to show you guys where to edit what gets pulled in by Facebook when you paste the link in. And to do that, you go up here in the options section, and you click the page share metadata. And here you can name the page title, the description, and even upload an image. So let me show you. The title will be here, the image, and the description goes in there. So remember, all this is clickable with a Linkshare post, and customizing this information on the Heyo side dictates what gets pulled in on the Facebook side. So that is tip one, right on. So let's Before we jump into number two, the reason you do this is this creating this kind of viral sharing feature. So when people share your contests, you want it to expand your reach to the maximum degree. And to do that is you optimize the creative of the face or of your landing page or sweepstakes. Because if you don't, you might miss out on potential clicks just by having ugly imagery or copy that isn't relevant or eye catching. So turning your fans into marketers by making it that much easier for them to share and that much more desirable for them to share is very, very important when it comes to driving traffic to your campaign. So I'm going to go into the second one and then I'm going to pause because I imagine there's going to be quite a few questions rolling in regards to Facebook ads, because the second one is all about promoting your Linkshare posts to a targeted audience via Facebook ads. So what do I mean by that? What is that mumbo jumbo? So I believe I already have a campaign set up, and I'm going to go ahead and grab it. It is win 4 Cubs tickets. That is it. Let's view this. And then, wonderful. So here's the campaign that I published to Facebook. It's over because it's an older campaign, but I want to go ahead and show you how I can promote this on Facebook, how I can run an ad to this. So I already actually used the URL and created my Linkshare post. So it's right here in the newsfeed. The way I did that was I just pasted it in. Because I took the time customizing this in Heyo, it pulls in a nice clean copy and clean image. So then I'm going to win 4 Cubs tickets. Enter below. I'm going to post this again. This is another Linkshare post. And now I want to promote this to a targeted audience. So what I do here is I go to facebook.com/ads. Now I'm going to click Manage Your Ads and then Create an Ad. Now I'm going to click Boost Your Posts. I'm going to find Garth's Gears, the page that I published to. And look, it automatically pulls in my Linkshare post. So I'm going to click Continue. Now here's where you get into the nitty-gritty. Obviously you set up your account info if you haven't already done that, if you aren't familiar with ads. And then you can get into some really nitty-gritty targeting. For when doing the Chicago Cubs one, I always like to use this as an example because we could go through here and really get down and dirty. For location, if I'm giving away Cubs tickets, for example, I'm probably only going to want to target people in Chicago. So let's do that. Chicago, Illinois. Plus or minus 25 miles. So that automatically brings it down a whole lot. And a thing that I like to caution people about is potential reach isn't the number you want to watch out for. You really want a smaller number than bigger because you want to be highly targeted. So that's where all these triggers on the left-hand side come into play. So let's say the people at Garth's Gears, they're bikers, they're active bikers. So ages 18 to 50, or let's say 60 actually, is a good demographic for people who cycle, who might want Garth's Gears. So we'll keep both men and women. We want let's do English language because maybe we're giving away, or maybe our bike shop, we only have people who speak English language and we don't have a translator. You can that cuts it a little more. You could say people are into cycling and fitness and wellness. Automatically that halves the potential reach, which is good because it means it's people who are well targeted for your brand. Let's see here. You can even say for interests who like specialized bikes, bicycle components. So people who like specific pages even. Oh, well, where is that? No, here we go. Specialized. Let's try another one. What's another bike company? Canon, right? Yeah. So you can even target competitor pages or industry pages. Then you get down into the budget. We recommend starting small and experimenting. You really want to make sure that what you're spending is driving clicks. So I do it based per day, maybe start 5, 10 per day. And then you want to optimize for post engagement or clicks. I really like to do CPC because that guarantees you're measuring people who actually click to the campaign. So if you do it by clicks and you spend $5, you can see your estimated daily reach. And then you want to measure, once you start to gather data, how many clicks you're actually getting. So clicks and then versus entries to see if it's worth the cost. That's how you'd measure that. So I'm going to jump back to the slides and see if I missed anything. Like I said, you can use those demographics to target your ideal customer based on their interest, age, language. You can even target existing fans of your page or other people's pages, and even target fans of your competition. So other cycle shops, maybe, if I'm giving away, or if that's who I'm trying to get as my customer. A pro tip is you can actually upload your email list to target your existing customers in those ads. So you can upload your email list. Let's see where it is. You might actually, that's going to be in the previous step. But you can, that's called targeted, let's see, what's it called? It's a targeted audience. That's what it is. And you can upload your existing list. If you send me a message, sorry for stumbling over my words there, at alex@heyo.com, or just drop a line in the questions. I'll get the link to you for how to set that up, because that's a really powerful strategy. So real quick, yes or no, have you had any success running Facebook ads before? I want to see just what everybody thought of that little segment. Have they used it before? Let's open the floor for some conversation. Barbara has not. Steve, this is definitely recorded. Okay, great. A lot of people have had experience. Hopefully you learned some stuff by me running through the platform. And if you have not, definitely recommend giving it a shot, promoting your campaign for just a few dollars a day to see if it's driving clicks and ultimately entries to your campaign. So let's keep chugging along. I've spent a lot of time on that section, but we want to get through the full 8 and then have time for Q&A. So number 3 on the 8 ways to drive traffic to your landing page or campaign is to send an email to your existing list with a link to the campaign. Now, a lot of people talk to me about this one and say that this is a no-brainer. Alex, of course we're sending, or why would we send an email to a list when our ultimate goal is to capture new emails? That's an incredible question. So the reason you want to do that, the reason you want to send your existing email list to the contest is to help your campaign get the initial lift. Remember the first tip I showed, how to optimize your Linkshare and your share metadata? That is directly tied to this. If when you send your current fans your campaign and then they share it, that helps you reach their audience. So you need that initial lift of people entering and sharing with their fans in order to reach new audiences. So some strategies for emailing your list is to definitely First things first is the subject line. Make sure it's compelling and inquisitive. I like to use tricks like lowercase letters and personal tags and you in the subject line to help it get opened more. And make sure that the from and the reply to is personal. It's not from some info at heyo.com. It's from Alex at heyo.com. And you can reply to Alex at heyo.com, not reply to at heyo.com. So it's important those little personal touches make your email all the more likely to not end up in the spam box and actually get opened. So remember that when you're sending your campaign to your email list. The next tip for your email marketing for your campaign is to use attractive visual imagery. Use eye-popping alert colors for buttons and links. We at Heyo like to use blaze orange if you haven't noticed, but it's very clickable. People's eyes are naturally attracted to it, and it's a great way just to strengthen your call to actions ultimately in your email marketing campaigns. Another tip is to always link your images. The first thing we see as humans is we're just attracted to images first. So make sure that everything is clickable and only to the one link, being the smart URL. Don't link to a bunch of places. Don't ask them to buy and to sign up for your contest and to share and to follow you on Twitter. Keep it simple. That's what we always say. Send one email with one link. There's only one way out, and it's to your contest. Be very direct and intentional with what that email is intended to do. That an email is intended to get them to sign up for your contest, that's the only link that should be there. Question. So that's a little bit on email marketing. I want to find out, we integrate with a lot of different partners. Which email service provider do you use to manage your email marketing? Is it MailChimp, Aweber, Infusionsoft, MadMeMe, Constant Contact, Campaign Monitor? What is it? What do you guys use? Salesforce, we've heard a lot. MailChimp is very popular. MailChimp, Aweber. Cool. Well, yeah, I just wanted to see what everybody is using because those are the ones that we have direct integrations with. So if you're setting up a sweepstakes campaign, you can actually directly add signups to your email list with those accounts. So some tips for connecting, you definitely want to make sure for whatever list you connect to, you have an auto response for all new entries, maybe a thank you for entering type email. And by doing so, you'll automatically be able to monitor campaign performance. So how many people signed up, how many people opened your follow-up, et cetera, et cetera. And just a reminder to when you're running a campaign, it's smart to create a separate list so that you know in the future that those are the people that signed up for this campaign. So organize your leads based on the source. And regardless is if you connect or not, Heyo has got your back, and all the leads that you get through Heyo is actually backed up in a downloadable CSV. So God forbid you change your password on your integration or the API key expires, Heyo's got your back, and everything will be stored in a CSV from your dashboard. Alrighty, so I'm going to Oh, sorry about that. The sound went, and I apologize for that. I wanted to just take a minute and answer a quick question. Jonathan asked when doing Linkshare posts and sending emails, what link should be used, and that would be the smart URL, which is accessible via your dashboard, so that this link automatically directs users to the Facebook, web, or mobile version, depending on their device. Okay, so lost a few seconds there. My apologies. let's pick back up and jump right back into the content. A friendly reminder that this is recorded if I'm going too fast or you've got questions after the fact, so no need to fret there. Let's jump into the fourth strategy for promoting your landing page and getting traffic to it, or campaign rather. Number 4 would be to add banners, pop-ups, and ads on your website or blog. So as I mentioned earlier, chances are if you're running a campaign, you already have some sort of audience or business, or you should at least, because otherwise you probably don't need to be at the step of running a campaign. But if you do have a website or a blog, a great way to leverage traffic that's already going there is to adding pop-ups and headers with calls to action to link to your landing page or campaign. So you can do this based on the specific pages they're on. Maybe they're on a specific blog post and you want to target those readers. Maybe on the second visit, you want to show people a pop-up. Or maybe you even want to make a sticky banner so that when people scroll, the link is visible at all times at the top. If you've been on our blog, you might have seen that. We implement that strategy frequently. The way that you can do this is a pro tip. If you're not listening, I highly recommend coming back to my screen because everyone asked me about this one after the fact. To be able to manage these pop-ups and website banners, it's very simple to set up. And it's a free tool called SumoMe List Builder. It's a free plugin for websites and WordPress to create banners and pop-ups and control them based on behavior. So if they scroll, if it's their second time reading the article, if it's their first time, if they've been on the page for 30 seconds, it's a really, really powerful tool, and we use it here at Heyo. So let's see, in the questions, a lot of people are loving that one. It is SumoMe List Builder. Awesome. Cool, so I'm going to keep chugging along here. Well, we're actually, before I go any further, halfway through, and is everybody, I want to make sure everybody's still getting value. Are you guys learning a lot? Am I going at a good pace? I would really like some feedback. As you guys are the customers, I want to make sure this is beneficial and not wasting your time. Let's see. Perfect. All good. Fine so far. Jonathan's still wrapping his mind around Linkshare posts. I'll touch base on that at the end of the webinar, Jonathan. I want to keep chugging along here. Got a few more good tips, and then it's open floor for Q&A. So let's jump to number 5. Number 5 is a tip for sharing the campaign on other social networks where you already have a following. So chances are you are working on not only your Facebook following, but also maybe your Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. If you have done that, if you've built a community on one of those social networks, we highly recommend sharing that Linkshare post on those platforms as well, especially if you've got a large following. If you know your community is on Twitter, then heck, you should definitely be promoting it there. So we recommend on Twitter, when you're posting your contest or landing page, to post at least once per day. And definitely use hashtags. Use #IfIme.me to research hashtags that are really popular in your industry. And a lot of people say at least once a day. That's spammy, isn't it, Alex? The fact is, no. How many times do you even get 2 hours back on your Twitter feed? Rarely. It's rare that people scroll and will see duplicate posts, especially if you space them out properly. So don't be ashamed of posting 2, maybe 3 times a day, every 6 hours. Twitter users are not as sensitive to spam, and Twitter has done such a fine job just keeping their algorithm as news first. It's time focused. It's not like Facebook where they're trying to ding you for multiple posts or specific words in your posts. So remember that when you're sharing with your Twitter followers. By the way, if you want a free Twitter follower, go to twitter.com/Heyo right now and follow us, and I'll follow everybody who follows us by the end of this webinar. So twitter.com/Heyo. Alrighty. Next, LinkedIn. LinkedIn, if you're in the B2B market, it's great for that. If you share from your personal page, you'll reach contacts that you've made directly, and share from your company page, you'll reach people who follow your company on LinkedIn. It's great for making B2B connections, and we've had a lot of success using LinkedIn for actually marketing Heyo, since we work with a lot of small and independently run businesses. Pinterest is good for mommy bloggers and highly visual products. As you probably know somebody who's on Pinterest. They're very creative and visual, so that's the type of thing that you should be sharing on Pinterest. It shouldn't be screenshots. It should be very clean, sleek. Maybe if you're running a bridal shower campaign, um, something that's very crafty, Etsy-like, that tends to get high-performing clicks when working with Heyo campaigns. So pro tip, Instagram, that's the big one these days. Everybody's on Instagram, but nobody quite knows how to leverage it just yet because you can't really have many links. The only place you can have a link or drive traffic to your campaign is in your bio. So pasting your smart URL as your bio website and then making posts that say, check out our bio, or win this, check out our bio for the link. That's a pro tip. Subi Zimmerman taught us that one. So next, contributing to communities, forums, groups to get highly targeted traffic. If you are not a part of the online forums or you think communities are a thing of the past, you are extremely wrong, my friend. Online groups and communities are as active as ever. The first one and most popular being LinkedIn groups. Everyone says, oh, you should join a LinkedIn group for your industry, and I am going to pound that one home. You should absolutely be in at least 5 groups in your industry. I guarantee you can find 5 relevant to whatever industry you're in. They are highly B2B focused, and whenever you're posting a campaign or a link in these groups, they have to be approved by the admin, so you've got to be strategic with how you present it. Can't be very spammy, and it's got to be relevant to the group. So some things to note are that there are some groups with over 500 or with over 500,000 members. How insane is that? That is a lot of potential reach there. And then the next place online communities where I personally had more success than LinkedIn, I find Google communities to be extremely tolerable to self-promotion and active. People who are in Google Plus communities oftentimes get Gmail notifications informing them when people post in their communities. So it's a very active community. They've grown tremendously over the last few years, and there are so many good groups. A really pro tip, don't tell anyone this because I'm afraid they're going to change the settings, but smaller communities, when you're posting in them, there's actually a checkbox that allows you to email members directly when you post, as I just touched on. That is a huge win. Gmail users are much more active than any other email service provider. Everyone's Gmail address is usually their main one, so being able to email Gmail folks when using Google Plus communities is a big, big win. Big win. And lastly, Reddit. Reddit is, for those of you who are Redditors, know it's a very sensitive community. Be very careful about being promotional or spammy. They can usually sniff that stuff out. It needs to be soft and personal. What I like to say is, as you guys probably know, Gary Vee, jab, 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 right hook. Contribute first, promote third. That's my rule of thumb with Reddit. You've got to be very strategic with where you insert any sort of promotion. And a pro tip, this is another one, I'm giving a lot of these away for Heyo customers, is to submit your campaign to StumbleUpon. You can actually submit your URL to StumbleUpon services, and people who have tagged your industry as one they're interested in will actually be have a chance of checking out your campaign. So StumbleUpon.com/submit is how you submit your campaign to StumbleUpon to be crawled by StumbleUpon users. Let me see. Any questions? Cool. Okay, we got two more tips, and then it's all questions from here on out. So, thank you all for staying on here. Let's keep chugging along. Step 7 for promoting your campaign um, and getting traffic to it is on your Facebook page. This is an overlooked one for everyone who's familiar with running Facebook campaigns, as you all should. That's why we're all here with Heyo today. There are 3 things I recommend for highlighting it on your page, highlighting your campaign on your page. The first one being to pin it to the top of your timeline for 7 days. The second is to create a custom cover image that links to your campaign. The third is to create a custom thumbnail image for your campaign or app on Facebook. So now I'm going to go ahead and go over to Facebook and show you how to do all 3 of those. The first one, pinning a post to the top. The way you do that is you find the post. Let's say this was the Linkshare post that I touched on at the very beginning. You click the little caret here. Then you click pin to top, which means that this is the sticky, this will always be at the top of the page for 7 days. You can even highlight it. Highlighting it will make sure that when people go back in time, it'll be highlighted. So they'll always be able to see this post. So that is number 1, pinning it to the top for 7 days, preferably while the campaign is running. So number 2 is a custom cover image. So creating a cover image with copy that maybe messages what you're giving away or what's on the landing page, what they can possibly get by giving their information. And when they click, in the comment section, you'll want to make sure that you're linked here. Otherwise, they just go into that photo view. Photo view, what do you call this? Theatrical view, I suppose. So make sure you put your smart URL in the comment here and a custom cover image explaining the contest. So that is tip number 2 for featuring it on Facebook. It's a prime real estate right there, the cover image. Number 3 is a custom thumbnail. These are very eye-catching, as you can see. And when you publish to Facebook from Heyo, this is where your apps will live. You can reorganize them by clicking the edit button here. But you'll want to create a nice, clean, attractive one that aligns with your campaign graphics to drive people to your contest, as you'll see here when it loads up. Maybe. There we go. Your contest on Facebook. Right on. Okay. So that is step 7, how to leverage your Facebook page to feature the campaign in several different places. We showed you how to pin it, showed you how to customize that thumbnail, which you can do in Heyo. I guess I didn't show you where, but that image should be customized with those eye-catching colors, and you upload that actually in Heyo. So let's move on. The last one here is grassroots word-of-mouth marketing. This is my favorite one. I love getting down and dirty. People always expect traffic to just happen, but this one just really reminds you to do whatever it takes to show improvement, to ask friends and family, to help get that initial lift. You can do that by emailing it directly to friends who might be interested or colleagues, just sending a nice message, hey, I thought you might be interested in our latest campaign. Feel free to check it out. Chances are, if they're really a friend or family, they'll definitely do you a favor and enter your email and maybe share it a few times to help get the ball rolling on it. Next, you can send direct messages, Facebook messages, and even LinkedIn in-mail to potential entrants. So using things like Facebook graph search and LinkedIn search to qualify potential entrants and do your reach out very privately, personally. Then also your personal social networks. Just a lot of people get touchy-feely mixing personal and business, but I highly recommend it. I don't think there's much of a downside. I think by sharing on your personal networks, I don't think that comes off as spammy, but hey, that's a personal choice. And a pro tip, another one, this is the last one I've got for the day, but in LinkedIn, you can actually export your LinkedIn contacts to a CSV and get all their email addresses. That is a really quick way to get a lot of business connections that you can email directly. So note that on your next campaign. And I can, if you're interested in finding out how to do that, can send you the tutorial. Just email me, alex@heyo.com. All right, so um, let's see. Yes or no? Would you like a full demo on how Heyo can drive more shares for your campaign? I'm actually going to skip this one. We've got only a limited amount of time before Q&A because I have actually touched on everything that I wanted to today, and many of you people are familiar with Heyo campaigns, so I'm not going to do a full demo, but I will touch on a few other things, and I want to, like I said, get to the Q&A because I saw a lot of good quality questions coming through. So far we went over how to optimize Linkshare posts and promote posts using the Facebook ads platform. Saw a few questions on Linkshare posts that I want to touch on here in a few minutes. We also touched on email marketing strategies that will jumpstart your campaign and convert customers after it's over to help get that initial lift that I talked about. And lastly, we covered how to use your website, blog, and a few other creative resources to really maximize your campaign's reach and get it off the ground. So stay tuned for live Q&A. The last question that I did have is I want to see these webinars. I curate highly to the customer that we've got on board, and a lot of people recommended traffic as a point of conversation. So I want to make sure I provided value today. Were there at least two things that you learned from this webinar that you feel you can use immediately to promote your Heyo page or contest? Post your answer in the GoToWebinar questions. I gave away a lot of pro tips, so those could fall in it, or maybe it's something a little less complicated, maybe how to find the metadata or that you can integrate with several ESPs. Let me know in the questions two things. Barbara says yes. Angeline says yes. John says sure. Awesome. Jess said she had to be in and out, but yes, she thinks so. Okay, great. That's good news. That is why I'm here. So I wanted to go ahead, and since everyone here is a Heyo customer, I want to let you know that most of you, I did some research before, don't have white label. These are very, very small webinars, and we like to offer white label to anybody who's been with us for a while and is very engaged with the brand. So white label means you can remove Heyo branding. This is actually only for one page, but if you're interested in options for removing white label at a discounted price, please email me or Jay directly at heyo.com/white label. Go ahead and email him. Let me see. Yep, email him directly. That link will set you up with an email to him, I believe. Yeah. Quick webinar or quick email there that'll draft to him. I'll leave that up on my screen if you're interested. All this does is just removes branding. So maybe if you're working with a few clients, before you go to the agency plan, you want to hide Heyo branding, which totally makes sense. So go ahead and fill that out. I'm going to pause my screen here, grab a sip of water, and while I do that, everyone go ahead and if your question was not answered through the webinar, go ahead and paste it back in the GoToWebinar questions, and I'm going to go ahead and address those after my quick water break. 2 minutes. Alrighty. Alrighty, folks, I am back. Thank you all for joining here today. I have a few questions here that I want to address. Um, we've got Nava who asked what the Instagram tip was. The Instagram tip is Nava. Whenever you're posting on Instagram, keep in mind the only place you can link on Instagram, let me show you, is in your bio. It's the only way you can actually link people outside of Instagram. So we recommend making this link the link to your smart URL so that you can drive your Instagram traffic to your campaign. So that's one question that I saw roll through. Um, Somebody asked, where will the recording be posted? I send that out about 12 hours after. You should get an email with where to find that. Okay. Angeline asks, is it easier to click boost posts on their Facebook page than to go to the ads manager? It's the same thing, Angeline. I just wanted to get people familiar with going to Facebook ads that traditional way. But that's a good question. Great question. You bet. Okay. Alrighty, folks. Not many more questions rolling in. I'm going to go ahead and leave the special white label offer up just in case anybody wanted it that didn't get it. And I will be on watching the questions come through. So you've got another 15 minutes to pick my brain in the questions. I'll even unmute anybody who wants to chat. So I will be around if you've got anything else, go ahead and type it in or raise your hand, and I will get to you ASAP. And otherwise, keep an eye out for other customer webinars, and feel free to email me directly, alex@heyo.com, with any other ideas for content. I really enjoy putting together these webinars and picking your brain and what you like to learn about. So definitely let me know in the GoToMeeting questions, or email me at alex@heyo.com how we can improve these and what you'd like to see us cover in the future. So I'm going to go mute for now. But like I said, if you've got more questions until 3 p.m. Eastern, type them in. We'll be hanging out. If not, guys, I will see you on the other side. Alrighty.